Hello students, welcome to Disha. We are powered by Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. In the Disha program, we are teaching and educating the young minds of our country about various different topics, things. Alright, so in today's video, let us talk about the encroaching trees, which are a threat to the Indian as well as the international and the world grasslands. Okay, so let's start the lecture and see why is it in news, first of all. So one thing is very definite. In recent years, there has been climate change. There has been climate change. And to counter the climate change, it is commonly understood that tree cover increment, tree cover increment is a very good thing. But what happens if the tree cover increment is done in an area where there were earlier grasslands? Where there were earlier grasslands. Now these grasslands are a different type of ecosystem, and these trees are a different type of ecosystem. And when these ecosystems conflict with each other, there is a loss for the wildlife and the native species. Native species. So recently there was a study. Just a second. Okay. So recently there was a study and which told that open ecosystems like which are open, not covered by trees, like let's say savanna and various other grasslands have substantially reduced the number of native grassland birds. That means the birds which were flying in the grassland ecosystems have been reduced by even 20% in some grasslands. And why this has happened? Because of the incursion of trees. Okay, the change in the complete ecosystem. Grasslands and savannas are biodiverse habitat in tropical and temperate regions throughout the world. That means if this is the earth, then there are tropical regions which are located between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. And there is equator in the middle. This is the equator in the middle. And these are the two tropics. Okay, now there are multiple grasslands here. There are multiple grasslands spread throughout the world. Some are known as the temperate grasslands. These are the temperate grasslands. And these are known as the tropical grasslands. Okay, so multiple grasslands are there located throughout the world and they cover approximately 40% of Earth's landmass. 40% of the Earth's landmass. All right, so it's a very big sort of ecosystem. This is a picture from the African savannah. This is a picture from the African savannah. Okay, and you can see the trees are there. The trees are present, but they are sort of scattered. They are sort of scattered or sporadic. And these type of ecosystems are known as the open ecosystems. Open ecosystems. So now you can see there is various flora. This is known as the flora, the trees, and various fauna. Various fauna supported by these ecosystems such as the zebras you can see here. The African zebra. All right. So these ecosystems support various different types of animals as well as plants. Now one more thing, let us see the grasslands of the world in a site. So these grasslands are located between, such as this is the equator here. Alright, this is the equator here. And we have tropics also here. Both the tropics are here. Now between these most of the grasslands are located. I'll just erase this. And these are named different or differently in the world. Let's say in North America, these are known as the prairies. In North America, these are known as the prairies. While in the Southern Americas, these are known as the campos. In the Southern America, these are known as the campos. And even lower, when we go even lower, these are known as the pampas. Okay, llanos in the Mexican region or Venezuelan region, these are known as the Llanos. Alright, in the African continent, these are known as savanna. Okay, here you can see multiple different countries. This is the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. And in the southern Africa side, these are known as the veld. Recently, we heard about the South Africa. The South Africa, we saw that it has made a law about the climate change. In Australia, they are also known as savanna and the downs. Okay, downs, very important name. Okay, in the Chinese and Mongolian region, these are known as the steppes. And in the European region, these are known as the pashtas. Okay, what about India? India also has multiple different grasslands. Okay, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in Gujarat, there are multiple grasslands. There are also some grasslands in the Western Ghats. Okay, the Shola grasslands. And in the Himalayan region, there are also grasslands known as the Terai grasslands in the Terai region. Okay, we'll be talking about them also. But what we usually see is that there is a large number of the flora as well as fauna. Flora as well as fauna. Here we are seeing the fauna, basically meaning animals, supported by these type of ecosystems. And when these ecosystems are at risk, then these animals will also get extinct. Extinct mean disappear from the wild. So what we need two things. We need two things. One, we need the ecosystems, and second, we need a diversity in the ecosystem. We don't want trees everywhere. We don't want trees everywhere. Okay, if the trees become everywhere, they will conflict with the grassland ecosystem and these animals will go extinct. Now let us see what are the activities which threaten the grasslands in a general sense. So we talk about the factors which threaten the grasslands. Okay, in a negative sense. So these are intensive agriculture. Then there are other factors such as loss due to the erosion. Loss due to erosion. There are developmental projects or anthropogenic activities. Anthropogenic means human activities. Okay, other than that, what is there? Let's say overgrazing. Overgrazing. But there is one more activity. There is one more thing. The trees. The trees encroaching the space. The trees encroaching the space. So this activity is known as the woody encroachment. Known as the woody encroachment. Now why it is known as woody encroachment? Because wood is different from the grass. Wood is different from the grass family. Grass family is most like shrubs and herbs. Okay, or even at most plants. But there is no wood in the grass. There is no wood system in the grass. That is why these ecosystems are so different from each other. So when trees encroach the grasslands, this is known as the woody encroachment. Woody encroachment. So you please remember this term for the future. Now let us see what happens after the woody encroachment. So you can see the evil tree here. We will just refer it to the evil tree. Okay, and this is the grasslands here which are scared. So what does the evil tree do? What does the woody encroachment do? Okay, so it means that more trees, more more shrubs, all right, and more different type of, let's say trees, okay, in the end, and less grass. Reduction in the grassland ecosystem. So what does it mean? It means the homogenization. Homogenization of the ecosystem. That means there will be only and only a single type of tree which keeps on growing in the grassland and ultimately cover the whole grassland. Ultimately cover the whole grassland. So this is known as the woody encroachment. Okay, furthermore, what happens that a grassland is a layered sort of ecosystem. A grassland is a layered sort of ecosystem. There is the basic soil. Okay, then there is another different layer of the small grass onto which the insects etc. feed. Okay, there is little bigger grass or the middle grass. In middle grass, it is very useful for the birds. Okay, and the top grass or the higher grass, it is useful for the grazing of the primary consumers or vegetarian animals. It is also very useful for hiding purpose of the animal. So there is a different completely ecosystem. Now this ecosystem is not provided by these trees. So when there are such trees, there is no place for the animals to hide, no place for the animals to graze, nothing for the insects to eat. Alright, it completely just changes their habitat. So this is a dire prospect because open ecosystems are characterized by grassy understory and a scattering of native tree species. Okay, they are generally maintained by certain natural as well as human activities. Okay, so these grass activities are maintained by such as what factors maintain the grasslands. Okay, let us see this. So one activity is let's say multiple different activities such as grazing. Okay, so in grazing what happens, let me tell you. In grazing what happens, the top two-third of the grass is eaten or chewed by the animal. Okay, this promotes this rest of the remaining grass to grow even longer. Okay, when the next time the grass grows, it grows even longer. Okay, so then this is eaten again. This is what grazing does. Is it is cyclic sort of activity where the complete grass is not eaten, but only the top of it, so that the grass comes back even stronger. Okay, then second thing is fire. When there is a fire in the grassland, it burns the shrubs. Okay, it burns the upper shrubs, but the grass always remains in the lower story. Okay, and then the grassland regrows. Second thing, these are known as the disturbance regimes. Okay, so these limit in a tandem, these work in a tandem to limit the growth of the trees in the grassland. Okay, so naturally this is the reason why trees cannot grow in the grassland. Why trees cannot grow in the grassland. But what happens that now why trees are growing in the grassland? Okay, one is the human activity. One is the human activity. Such as human will go plant, let's say, exotic trees in the grasslands and then expect them to grow. And they grow at a higher rate. Okay, they grow at a higher rate and ruin the grassland ecosystem. Second thing is a higher concentration of the carbon dioxide because trees take CO2 and release O2 for photosynthesis. Okay, we are not talking about the respiration where trees also take O2 and release CO2. This is the respiration. We are talking about the photosynthesis where they take the CO2 and release the O2. Okay, so what happens that humans will plant more trees because they see it as, let's say, carbon sequestration that reduce the carbon in the environment. Okay, second thing, as there is more CO2, more trees are growing. C3 trees are more growing. C3 is a pathway of the photosynthesis. There are multiple different pathways in a photosynthesis, C3, C4, CAM cycle. Okay, we are talking about the C3 pathways. Just basically understand that if there is more carbon dioxide, then C3 trees will grow more. These are also known as dicotyledon trees. Okay, so they will eventually grow in a grassland and ruin the complete ecosystem. Now, let us see what is happening in India. What is happening in India? So, India also has multiple different grasslands.